As human beings, we were all drawn towards symbols. Now, what's the difference between a sign and a symbol? A sign says what it is and nothing more. A symbol, though, is very different. It has one foot in the conscious mind and the other in the subconscious. And they are universal. And one that I kind of like is that symbol called the horned god. But is it really a symbol? An archetype buried deep within the human psyche, a living entity surviving in that mysterious realm we call the collective unconscious? Or is the horned god simply an example of the human imagination at work? Ancient humans saw animals with horns, they liked horns, they drew people with horns, a common thing. Me, I go with the former. Now, in modern times, most prefer to see the horned god as some happy, hippie boy toy of the pagan goddess. I, because of my dark obsessions and love of all things Celtic, perceive Cernunnos a bit differently. To begin with, druids, those individuals of what is sometimes considered the Celtic priestly caste, though they were much more than that, were not passive tree huggers. Go ahead, do your research. They have a very dark side. And from what we have come to know, the horned god was revered by them, and by many other cultures. And this brings us to the most interesting example of comparative mythology. That connection between Cernunnos and another well-known horned deity. In India, we find a horned god more ancient than Cernunnos, Pan, or Faunus. He is the horned god of the Indus Valley, Pashupati. The most common image of Pashupati shows him horned, seated in a lotus position, surrounded by animals, as is the most common image of Cernunnos from the 2,000-year-old Gundestrup cauldron. But there is a 3,000-year-old gap between these two images, Pashupati dating from roughly 3,000 years BCE. Now, is this an example of racial memory, the collective unconscious, or do they both stem from a long-forgotten Indo-European horned god? Who knows? But here's what really fires my imagination. Over the centuries, the image of Pashupati evolved into Shiva, Shiva the Destroyer, the preeminent god of the left-hand path in Hindu traditions. The horned god here in the West? What left-hand path entity did he evolve into? Now, what appears to be happening is that there is something innate inside of us that connects the philosophy of the left-hand path to a horned deity, be it Shiva or Satan. The Neo Pagan image of him hugging bunnies does little for us. It's the Stygian image of this most primitive of examples of the divine that we're drawn to. There is something about the feral strength and carnal aspects of the horned god that works as a psychic aid, a knowledgeable guide on the path.